if we're ready, we can dive right into some questions. I know you said
Yeah,
you were
I'm
free
down.
today. Cool. All right. So why don't we hop right in? We're curious, was there a single moment that pulled you into photography, or did it sneak up on you kind of organically, or just sort of like out of the blue?
Photography in general. So I was always a really artistic person. I actually started in like drawing and illustration and stuff. Um, However, I was always taking photos on my mom's very she actually had it was like an Olympus uh film camera. It was little, but like back then that was like the normal thing. Now they're so expensive. But
Yeah.
I was always taking photos on that and I really, really liked it. But I think it started for concert photography when I went to my first show. So I had to bring a camera. I had to. Regardless that I was literally in nosebleeds in Nassau Coliseum by us, and you couldn't see you literally couldn't see anything. But I brought it with me, and the photos are hysterical because it's the Jonas Brothers, and they're like blurry figures. So like obviously I didn't know what I was doing, but it was a little and it was a $20 HP digital camera. So but I just like in that moment, like music is so important to me. So I was taking those pictures and I was like, oh my gosh, like I need to do this like forever. Like which is crazy to think because I was only like 14, but I was like, oh my God, like you just get that feeling of like, no, this feels extremely right for some reason. And then like from there on, I pushed myself. A couple years later, I brought my camera to a Terminal 5 show for a small band. And I took these pictures that were literally atrocious. But I had the band that I had taken pictures of, they were so nice to me and they were like, these are great. And then like one the lead singer of that band, he's actually a producer now, but he went out of his way and he gave me my first ever press pass and it was to Warp Tour. So then I ended up photographing his band at Warp Tour, which is like crazy to think because I was only 16. And those are some of my favorite pictures still. I was on the stage and all that other stuff, and it really gave me the sense of like as soon as I got in that photo pit, I was like, yeah, this is what you're supposed to be doing
Yeah.
because I really needed that. I always wanted to be in the music industry, but I am not musically talented in the slightest. So I was always trying to figure out a way to incorporate my artistic side into the music side and still like, build that up. And then it's just kind of clicked when I did that first little thing and I was like, "Oh, yeah. 100%. This is what I'm supposed to be doing."
That was
So,
like the moment that where you're like, wow, I could really actually
yes,
do this.
you just like you kind of just know, you know. It's
Yeah,
just like one of those
absolutely.
feelings.
Was there ever a point where you felt like it wasn't for you, or you almost gave up, or just
Oh my
questioned
God,
it, or
so much. So much. So, a lot of times, and I tell this to everybody that starts, this is not a promising, this cannot be a promising career sometimes. You really, really have to fight for it. So if you really, really want to do it, you're gonna keep going. You're gonna definitely get far. However, like you can't in this like industry, especially now, because when I started, there was only like a few female concert photographers, tour photographers. And it was so difficult back then, even with just like 10 of us, because we were all fighting for our lives to get hired for things. And I was constantly wanting to give up. Like, I mean, there were times I didn't touch my camera for months. And I was like, yeah, I can't do this. And like, I would have meltdowns about it because your mind knows that you're supposed to be there, right? And you're
yeah,
like, you're supposed to be there, but some of it is so debilitating and some of it is so like frustrating that you're like,
yep.
it's either this or my mental health. So there were times when I really did want to give up. And then for some reason, fate or the universe would just give me like a small little sign to be like, girl, not yet, not yet. But I tell everybody that like your journey in this, it's like it's everybody's is different. You can't I went a long time, all those times that I wanted to give up. I was comparing myself to other people, and I was comparing myself to other people that were getting, opportunities that I wasn't. And I was like, I don't understand why. Like, I've been doing this for so long. Like, why isn't it me? And I had to kind of self-reflect and realize that, hey, it's me, but it's because I have to I have to up my game, right? So like I had to learn to grow with my art and not just stay in like one little box. So yeah, it was hard, and it was a lot of self-reflecting. And I think the pandemic definitely, this is so odd, but I think the pandemic really helped me like settle in that sense, because since then I have not wanted to ever give it up. And so like I think for the past like 5 or 6 years, like I've been pretty settled in this role, and I'm really proud of myself for that. Because I had to go back to my roots. We didn't have live music to
So
use.
true.
And
Yep.
yeah,
Mhm.
so I was like,
Hmm.
okay, like I still wanted to do it, like I
Yeah.
still
Yep.
wanted to photograph. So it's obvious that it wasn't just like, okay, it's like music or like that's it. No, it was definitely a good reflection period for me, because I was like, okay, so you're gonna incorporate music into your stuff, but you're gonna take it back to like when you were in college and you weren't getting like gigs for bands and stuff. So I
Yep.
think that definitely helped me. But yeah, so that's
I love that answer because I think it's so true. Like the pandemic, it almost just gave everyone perspective one way or another because it made our
it
world so much
did.
smaller
It
that
Mhm.
really did.
we had to
It
Mhm.
like,
did. And it's so
yeah,
crazy to think, like, I know, like, because it's such a terrible time, and like trust me, like I was fighting for my life with that depression type thing. But I think like me pulling back and being like, okay, like you can't leave the house, you can't go
yep,
do things, you
Yep.
can't utilize outside sources. Like it's time to go back to like college when they were teaching you how to paint with light.
yeah, no,
So, but honestly, I think that really helped me. Like I think it low key really, really set my boundaries and my
I love
spot.
that. Love that. It's a very inspiring answer.
So
Thank
you were
you.
talking about all the women photographers and stuff. Do you think that community has influenced like how you see photography?
I think so. I know in the beginning there was a few of us. So I started way back. I started in like, I'm gonna say like on my own turf. Like I'm gonna say 2010, 2011. I started doing local shows. Obviously, I wasn't getting paid, but it was like building my portfolio, and I was getting involved in the Long Island music scene, which was like a huge thing back then. And there was a few of us. There was a few female photographers I had heard and crossed paths with and stuff. And it was nice. But I felt like there was like maybe ten of us. And I wasn't at their level because I wasn't friends with big bands, and I wasn't touring. So like I was just like a youngin. So I felt very out of place. I felt like I couldn't fit in to this because it's a very male dominated field. However, I love that it's literally been so widened now. Like I feel like it's just amazing to see the influx of female photographers um that have come in the doors, and the LGBTQ community also. Like it's just amazing. Like no offense to the guys, like but it was just a very male dominated field when I started, and it's so inspiring to get people that come up to me and they're like, "Oh my God, like you inspired me to start photography," and they're like, "Oh, like a girly pop and stuff." And I was like, "Oh, like, oh my God, like that's amazing." Like I never
You can
thought,
swear, it's okay.
no, yeah, like I never thought I would have any sort of influence on anybody like that. And then like I have like all these women creatives coming up to me and be like, "Oh, your work is so inspiring." And I'm like, "What?" Like it's just shocking, but it's incredible to see it, because that was one thing I always pushed for. I was like, God, like girlies, like I know you have cameras, like come out of hiding, please. Like I know it. Like there is not just 10 of us here. I swear to God. Like it was very like niche. Like they were in like a little like patch of people, and then it was just like one or two of us like off to the side, not really having that connection and stuff. And like we were like not getting anywhere. And like and so it was like it felt very intimidating to other, women, LGBTQ persons to come into this field because they were like, well, there's just a bunch of dudes and like maybe like five women. Like, no, like there's obviously a reason, but like, no, there wasn't. It just was an intimidating area of, like touring, because women in this field like haven't had the opportunity to tour as much beforehand. I started because it was a very like taboo thing to bring a girl on tour.
Hmm.
Like once a
Mm-hmm.
male band went on tour, they were like, we can't bring another, like, we can't employ a woman because then we're going to have to make all these accommodations and all this like stupid crap. But now that people are like realizing like, oh, okay, like maybe that's like not a thing, like it's just so incredible to see like this field and how it grew and like over the span of 10 years, like just insane to me. So
I hate that it's taken us this long to get there.
trust. Like, it's so funny when I tell people I started 16 years ago and then I only started getting paid for gigs literally in 2021.
Yeah, it's
I was
crazy.
literally not employed in this field until 2021. I got paid for other photo shoots, which is fine. Like, obviously, that's great. And I'm super blessed, but I was not paid for any music gigs until 2021. That's crazy. That's 12 years of
It's a
putting
long
myself
time.
in that position,
Hmm.
right? And the more I hear, though, the more I hear about people and women being like, yeah, I'm hired to tour. I'm hired. It is so refreshing. It is
Hmm.
so beautiful. It's
It's
so
happening more and
poetic.
more often,
It
slowly.
is amazing. It's awesome. Like I just love it. I love it. So yeah, I need more girlies on tour. We need more people on tour like that. Like please.
Was your first paid gig like just a single show, or was it being touring, or?
It was a single show. Actually, I take that back. I did do one tour before the pandemic, but it was so close to the pandemic. Sometimes my brain just like I went on tour with Logan Henderson, amazing human being, amazing
Oh,
man.
I love him.
He was so receptive and he was like, yes, like would love to have her. And it was incredible. It was one of the most incredible experiences of my life. It was a short tour, but I loved it. I've come to realize that I am not built for like these super, super crazy long tours, like 3 years or something. Unless you're Harry Styles and you see this, yes, I am built for that. But
Louis Tomlinson, hold
Louis
on.
Tomlinson also built for that. Niall Zane, let me know. But like otherwise like it was just it was a little tall. It literally happened like couple months before the pandemic. So like it was so chaotic. But that was like the first like I feel like paid established like okay, we're moving forward. And then 2 months later, like by the way, the world's shutting down. So I was like,
Yep.
cool, thank you. So I really didn't handle that too well. I was very like imposter syndrome took over like almost immediately. It was like it was a fluke. It was a fluke. But yeah, that one was like my first like major like paid gig event for that. So love that for me. But after the pandemic started, it was smaller shows. It was like one-offs with different like record labels, and I had all these like incredible opportunities from all these amazing people that I connected with that would, come and help me out, which is so promising. Like when someone gives you their confidence and puts that confidence in you, it is so fulfilling. And like I'm not normally like that. I'm a very like, go me type of person, but damn, it feels really good when you have someone believe in you, like really good. So yeah. But yeah, that then it started to pick up like small gigs, small gigs, small gig, big gigs, and then festivals, and then so on. So
Do you think since you started, your like style has developed a lot?
yeah, 100%. I feel like I went from like the most basic tragic editing. Now, this is in my defense, okay? I am 32. So like things like MySpace and Tumblr were a thing, so I can't help with how I edited.
Love.
It's really bad. Like, I mean, it was sepia, like on concert photos, like ew.
Yes.
It was so nasty. And then, but you know what's so funny? I feel like it's so full circle. So the first photos I had taken at that one concert that I got hired to do like Warp Tour with, um I look back at those pictures and they would do numbers now. Numbers because I used a flash on my camera and my camera
Mm.
was only 16 megapixels. So you know those pictures and they're cropped weird and everything. So like back then I was like, girl, ew, like these are so not like these are but now people would be like, yes, like you ate that up,
Hmm.
like the style. Like so now I feel like I'm coming into this full circle moment and I'm starting different styles because I think like I think everybody should definitely grow with their trade. Having a set style is great, but if you can build off of that, that's what's going to get you further into this market and into this business. I literally shoot film now. And it's something I'm like beyond obsessed with. I literally have like 6 film cameras now, like, and I bring them and
Wow.
I of course ask the band like, "Hey, can I bring flash?" And I think I fell into that pit um when I came across a TikTok from this guy who shot film with flash and he was talking about how he shot Nirvana in a club of 90 people and it was just this raw like show like these shows that I used to do when I was like 16, 17, where it was like 100 people in a room like this big and like everyone's on top of each other. But when I look back at those pictures, like wow, like I think of like my style has definitely grown, but I would love to go back and visit because now I know so much more on how to edit. Um, so I think definitely, and my best advice to everybody who starts, like, please grow with your style. If you feel inspired by somebody else that has a different style than you, incorporate it, incorporate a little bit of it. I feel like that's how you really develop your own, and you're not copying anybody. It's not copying, you're not going in and stealing anything. Like you can build off of other people's artwork like as an inspiration and pull it together and then that's how you create your own like style, I think.
Love
Now,
that.
honestly, like talking about style, like what do you feel makes a photo feel successful to you?
So for that, I'm gonna say if you feel achieved in it. So here's my thing, and this is such a big, huge problem. I see it now often. Numbers. So everybody's going by numbers, everybody's going by shares and clout and likes and reposts. And I get it. I get it because sometimes you can get really lost in that. Um, you have to feel like when you're sitting there and you're editing and you see this picture and you're like you finish editing it and you're like, "Oh, shit, yes. Like that was it. That was what I was looking for." If you feel like it's finished, if you feel like it's going to do well, then it's successful. Like that's just me. I have pictures that are my favorite that nobody else feels receptive about. And that's not what I wanted, you know? Like you have to remind yourself that your validation should come with from you, not from the outside world. It is an amazing feeling
Right.
every time someone likes my picture. I always go like in shock because I'm like, what the like how do you even like this? Like whatever. And it's so shocking to me all the time because like I don't care how many likes I get. Like I can be like, "Oh my gosh, like that's incredible. I didn't even know anybody would even like this." Um but you have to really like sit there and be like, "Oh, this is my favorite picture." Like it's something that you would feel like happy and excited to present in like a portfolio setting, stuff like that. So I feel like that's definitely like where the success should lie.
Right. And if you're like putting something out, like it has to be good to you, you know? Like what's the point of putting
Yeah.
Exactly.
something out if it's not perfect to you?
It shouldn't
Sure,
matter
it's
Right.
what other
perfect for the
people think.
world, but like
Exactly.
just like
Don't.
how you said, like your photos before,
Mhm.
people would have hated it, but now people love them. So like
That style.
makes
Yeah.
sense. Right, exactly.
Exactly. And like, listen, I went through a lot because I would post my pictures, which is actually kind of funny, mind you. I had pictures of One Direction that I posted. No one would look at my page, no one would whatever. And then I did I got a viral video on TikTok, and that's how I got a lot of following. And then I was like, "Oh, okay." But like it's not even the number. Like I actually try and hide my likes and my shares on some of my photos because I don't want to like see like, oh, one did like 1,000
Hmm.
likes and one did 100, you know what I mean? Because like some of my favorite pictures like are not, these popular artists that get reposted. And
Mhm.
like State Champs, it's a like a local cultish type of pop punk band. Like yeah, they're pretty popular in the pop punk scene, but also like the pop punk scene is not something where um it's not something where it's like I'm gonna get like 15,000 likes on that picture.
Yeah.
Like there's just no
Right.
way. So for me it's like, oh, but those are some of my favorite pictures. I don't care, I'm gonna post them. I'm not here to gauge how much interaction. And it sucks because when you're on Instagram and you're on TikTok, like you're going to get those like insights, and it's gonna like people are gonna be like, oh, it's flopping, and it's very demeaning, but at the same time you just kind of have to bite it. You just gonna have to bite it. You have to like learn to trust yourself, right? Because I know people who are on tours right now that have like 1,000 followers and barely get likes, but they're on tour. They're getting jobs because bands
Hmm.
are seeing it. So if that's where the networking comes into, a lot of people ask me like, how do you contact it? You find managers' names, you find managers' names, you find bands' names, you
Hmm.
DM people, you find emails. That is how you're going to push your portfolio. It's not
Right.
harassing. It's not as much as people think. Like it's not invasion, it's cold emailing. And it's not always going to work, but you're going to feel somewhat fulfilled because you did it. So just remember that.
Right. And always coming in with like the work that you're proud of, like,
Yes.
and
Yes,
honestly, now
exactly.
talking about that, like you have put out a lot of great work. Like we've all seen your portfolio.
Thank you. I appreciate
And
that.
one thing I want to know is, do you follow more of a technical perfection or emotional impact when you're shooting?
I'm gonna say emotional impacts. So I'm not gonna lie, there are times, especially when I'm shooting from the crowd, um, point and shoot wise, I can clock about 5,000 pictures in like an hour. And it will take me a hot second to go through them, but it's kind of like a surprise, like a blind box,
Mhm.
if you will, because you're going through and like there's 500 photos of like their left arm, but then there's one where their arm is like this and is cropped perfect. And then you're like, okay, what can I make out of this? Like you can see the vision, right? Like
Yeah.
you're supposed to see the vision in your work before you do it. So like if you're shooting and you're like, "Ooh, this lighting, this angle." Like I understand the technicality and it's very important to keep it sometimes, but also like don't like cropping like is a huge thing right now.
Hmm.
So many people are just experimenting with so many different types of cropping, and like I don't know, man. When I followed the rules and the technicalities back in high school, I was told by my teacher that my work sucked. So I was like,
That's wild.
okay, so what you're saying is like, don't do that. So like rule break, which is great because I feel like doing like rule breaking, it's going to really set you up for like a good way to be like, hey, I'm gonna put like crazy colors on this picture, and and that's a lot of things where like bands and like artists and stuff, they want that. Like they want that pull factor. So definitely experiment, go crazy. If you feel like you're done with the picture and you're like, yep, this is it, but it's literally a cropped picture of a hand, like amazing. You should, if that's the vision you
Perfect.
saw, own it, push that vision. But I think it's definitely good to experiment. Definitely.
Now it seems like the cooking is done during editing, during post.
Yeah.
So when you're editing, what's the moment that you know that that's it?
Um, so I oftentimes when I'm shooting bands, I have a preset. I'll try and use one preset because I really am personally not a fan of when I use like multiple different color schemes, unless it has to be. So like obviously you can't predict lights, you can't predict movement and stuff like that. But you can have an idea of it, right? So like if it's an outdoor concert, it's gonna be I have like over 1,000 presets that I made. But you'll like go through it and you'll scan through and you'll see like which color scheme you'd like or something like that. And then when you find it, it's like an instant like, okay, yes. And then you're gonna try it on all of your photos, right? You're gonna put it on that whole set of photos and it's not going to work on all of the photos. So then you go in and that's when you tweak. And I feel like that's when I go in and I'm like, does it look better with green? Does it look better without green? Should I denoise it? Should I crop it? You know, so I think that's definitely a huge factor for me personally. And that's how I usually start out for stuff.
So, so I totally see that like your editing style has changed throughout the years. What's something that you feel like you're still trying to master?
Um, honestly, well, that's why I think I'm challenging myself with film photography right now. Because I feel like I'm pretty good when it comes to editing and doing everything and like um and I'll still be that person that will like make an arm like out of thin air on like Photoshop and stuff because I refuse to touch AI anything. So like I'm definitely that person. And so like I will literally be like going to the basics to build up the photo. But I feel like I'm pretty well versed in that now. So I like to challenge myself, which is why I want to do film photography in it because I feel like so many bands, they're like no flash, right? So now you have like an 800 film in your camera and you have 36 shots to get something. And, for me, like I never expect that I'm gonna get the shot, right? So, like, to me, I'm like, I can only predict so much as to like movement and stuff, depending on the show that I've seen, whatever. Harry, I got really good at shooting because I went to like 40, I went to 40 shows.
Love
It's
that.
really bad. I'm
No,
super,
that's
yeah.
awesome.
It was over 3 years, so it can't be that terrible. But I kind of like, I kind of like studied him, right?
Hmm.
And so like it was a little bit easier for me to predict what he was gonna do, what side of the stage, all that. So something like a pop punk show where I brought my film camera and I did state champs, like, it was literally they went from playing, like, these huge venues to, like, this little stage in Amityville that held, like, maybe, like, 350 people, and you have people crowd surfing, and the stage is, like, up to your knees, so, like, they're right there, like, it's not these big, huge stadiums, like, it's something where it's, like, very intimate, and I asked, like, "Hey, can I use Flash?" And he was like, "Oh my god, yeah, go for it, like, you can use it." And then when I felt like Flash wasn't promising anymore because I was in his face, I was using my regular camera, like my regular just like 800. And you never know. Like you don't know. Like it's so dark
You
and
don't.
like you're like, I don't know if I'm gonna get this. So when I pulled back and I got my film, I was in shock. Like I nailed every like there was maybe one or two photos that I didn't like, but I nailed every single shot and I was like, wow, go you. Like it's a natural thing. Like you can do it. So I feel like challenging yourself in this business is definitely something that will make you want to keep going, right? So if you thrive off of competitiveness, but in a way that's like, okay, like I like that they did that, but like let me see if I can do it, and you challenge yourself to learn it, it's gonna want you, you're gonna keep wanting to go like forward with this as a career, honestly. I truly believe that.
Right. And you should always be open to like competitiveness and like
Oh,
always friendly
100%.
competitiveness for sure,
Yes.
especially in this field, you know?
Yes. Like you
And
should want that.
honestly,
Yeah.
yeah, totally. And like I feel like even then, like being in these big environments, being super competitive and everything like that, right? You must take time to like chill and like really take it back in,
Yeah.
like relax a little bit. So like when you're
Yeah.
not shooting, what would you say you would most likely be doing?
Laying in my bed on TikTok with my cat.
Love.
Yes,
Same,
Doom
honestly.
scroll.
Little doom
Uh-huh.
scrolling. But also like, I mean, this is kind of like a thing for me. So I have ADHD,
Hmm.
like diagnosed real ADHD, not like the fun term that everybody likes to use nowadays. So for me, like I have to keep going and doing things. So even though I'm doom scrolling, it's doom scrolling with like a purpose. So I'm going through and
Mm.
I'm seeing like, oh, this person photographed like this, or oh, this is a new camera style. Like, and I think like by doing that, it's giving me like bits of inspiration. And then all of a sudden, like in 2 hours, like I'm like, oh, I would love to do this to that photo. Like, let me do it. And like, so I think for me, like relaxing is kind of that. Otherwise, it's napping with my cats.
Love
I'm a
It's like
very
that's
working
a
and not
cat
basic.
working.
person. Yeah,
Yeah, I have my children and I just lay on my bed behind me and just vegetable. Um, Otherwise, if it's the summertime, I'll be at the beach. You
Love.
can't get me not at the beach. I will be
Oh,
at the
Yes.
beach on my
yep,
phone sometimes, but I will be at the beach
yep.
with music and just like calmness, you know what I mean? So
I love that.
that's
So
it for
since
that.
I'm taking that one for me.
love it, right? I know. Since
Yep.
we were talking about your editing and sort of your your stylistic tendencies, if your photography style had a playlist or a soundtrack, what do you think it would? What would it be?
Ooh,
Yeah.
okay. So this is where I lose a lot of people.
Oh,
I love oldies. So I was raised by my grandparents. Um, so I have a playlist and it will go through like Motown to like yacht rock type of
amazing.
energy, and like I can't even like, and not only that, but also like I feel like that's like my starting point for music, so I will go into doing that and that'll start my inspiration. However, I don't know what happens between like the first half hour and then onward, because it'll either drift to like pop punk music or EDM. And I will sit here and be listening to like house music in my little headphones, and it'll be like 3 in the morning, and the sun will be rising in 2 hours, and I'll just have
Mhm.
like EDM going in my ears and like dubstep. And I'm like, okay, awesome. And it's not like it's keeping me awake, it's more of just like it's steadying me into like a rhythm of how I am editing my photos.
Love it.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, and mind you, I feel like when I do shoot bands, I have like a little bit of a vision of how I'm going to edit their photos after I'm done. So like I'm going to start DJO, I'm sorry, Joe photos. I keep saying DJO because ADHD, but I'm going to be starting
Yeah.
editing on my Joe photos. And my headspace for that is 35 millimeter, grain, blurred kind of energy. And I think that also really helps because like
Mhm.
if the music is inspiring like that to me, like I already know how I'm gonna like
Mm-hmm.
execute the
Yep,
final
yep.
product for sure, for sure.
I grew up on
So
oldies.
excited to
They
see
were in
these.
my Spotify Wrapped, some oldies. I mean, I grew
Oh
up
yeah,
on
oh
that
my God.
too. Oh yeah.
I don't know if Nando told you, but or well maybe Laura did, but on my I posted it on my Instagram, but my listening age was 78.
Oh, really?
What?
I
Yeah,
think
I was
mine was
78
50,
years old.
52, I think.
Mine
So
was
I was like,
27.
thanks.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Mine was
And I think
36.
really, I think
I was pretty
Sirius
close.
has, at least they used to. My dad and I used to listen to it. Sirius has a yacht rock
It
station.
does.
It
And it's
does,
on
right?
and
Yeah,
it's
yeah, 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 yeah. Yacht rock. Yeah,
Nando
yeah.
can tell you it's on my Sirius XM like
Uh-huh. Yeah, yacht
style.
rock. Oh
Like I
yeah.
have it
Yup.
on one of my presets in my car, and
Yep.
everybody's like, Seriously? Seriously?" And I'm like, "Yes, it's 9
Yacht rock.
p.m. on a Monday night and I'm driving home from so yes, seriously, it will be
Yep.
on." Okay, I need to feel like I'm on a
Lovely little
friggin'
yacht
boat with
rock
a
radio.
right, exactly. I
Mhm.
want to feel like I'm on a damn yacht with a Corona or something, like a glass of wine. Like I am a 40-year-old woman in disguise, and I always have been. It's so terrible. But that's just like how I was raised. Like that's the music I was raised on. So like that's why I'm so inspired by like the Penny Lane style and stuff like that. Like that's the type of energy that I want to give off, right? So like that like raw just like just in the moment type of energy. So if it helps, that helps. So
So wait, now if you could trade places with anybody for a day, who would you trade places with?
in like
Like photography, anybody.
photo wise.
It doesn't
Or
have to be
not.
Hey,
photography. It
wait,
could be anybody.
Harry Styles photographer.
Yeah. But here's why. I was very partial to his previous photographer's style, Helene. I think her style was my favorite that she captured him in, but I think it was because I'm a very candid person when I shoot. Um, I like taking those pictures of those raw moments because I feel like they're just so real and just like there, like you don't have to have an explanation behind it. It's not posed. It's just you're in the moment, right? And so I think Harry Styles lives a very extensive, like excessive life. And I think it would be very interesting to follow him around for a day and just take 35 millimeter pictures of his day, whatever his brain's happening for like music wise and stuff like that. And I think that would be just so interesting, right? And then when you go to someone like photographing, like if I were to photograph like Louis Tomlinson, like for him, like I have a whole different headspace for when I photograph him. Like for him, I think of like 90s alternative rock, right? So like I would think following him around would be fun in a different sense. Like I would be taking like, candid shots of him on like my little Olympus or something, And I feel like I have that headspace for so many different people. Like it's just, Charlie XCX, same thing, like following her around on um like a little film camera. You know what I mean? And I
Mhm.
and I would love the opportunities to do that because like I feel like I would execute it so artistically and yeah, but like that's just me. I know I like everybody has their own headspace for it, but I feel like for me that's like I have like an idea for each person. I like adapt my style but not too crazy. Like I don't jump from style to style, but I do like put my style and I collaborate with artists. So when I photographed water parks, like I feel like I had a vision and then I brought their like chaotic energy, like Austin's chaotic energy, like into it, but enough that it was like editorial because the whole thing was like we can't shoot like it can't look like a Warped Tour ad, like we wanted it to look like editorial. And so like I think I did really well. I think my favorite picture was this like one vision I had the whole time, and we did this whole shoot and it was like a 2 hour thing. And then at the end I was like, guys, can I bring you in the middle of the street and take a picture of you like with flash, because he had a reflective jacket and he's like, yeah, let's do it. And I just had this really cool vision of like making them like um what is that, like a point, like having like his two bandmates here and then having him in the middle and making it like a, but like having the background to the New York City in the back, and it was just really cool, and it came out exactly how I wanted it, so I was like, bet. And so many people were like, yes, like that was it, that was the shot, and I was so proud because like I created that like ideal and it worked out so well, so I was like, awesome.
I love that. When so you've talked a lot about what you have shot before. We kind of want to touch on some of the things that are in your dreams and like future, if you will.
Yes.
So who's on your bucket list still to shoot?
Professionally,
Sure.
Harry Styles, but also would love to do My Chemical Romance. So I'm
Hmm.
hoping to get on that. Um, I would love to inquire about that because they're coming to City Field and it's on my birthday. So like if anybody hears this. But yeah, I would love to photograph them. If we were to throw it back in time, probably one of my crowning achievements probably would have been the Beatles. But
Hmm.
I like Paul McCartney. I would love to work with Paul McCartney. Would love to work with Oasis. That was really fun. I really enjoyed like the stuff that was coming out of there, and I think I would have had a really great time. Um, who else? It's like an all over thing, honestly. I have so many in my back of my head, but like those are really like the ones that I would be like, hell yeah. Like especially Paul McCartney. Um, Stevie Nicks would also be one. Stevie Nicks would be a nice one. And
Oh,
then yeah, I think that's pretty much it for
Love that.
them. But yeah.
If you what's that one impact, if you could, that you hope to leave on the scene, the community, or really anybody? If there's like any words of wisdom or just like what kind of impact do you want to leave on photography?
Um, I want people to like look back when they're old and like I just always have this weird vision of like being remembered where like so I take like a few really like really iconic photos to people, right? and then they have grandkids, and then they look back on like, oh my, like their grandkids brag about how like their mom or their dad like has a picture from like this person or whatever, and like hopefully like I would be remembered where they're like, oh, I know like I remember when I used to follow that person who took that picture and she was so great. You know what I mean? Like those really
Mhm.
iconic photos that I just want to take like one iconic photo that somebody turns around and is just like, yeah, like back like 60 years ago, like that was the photo, right? So like
Mhm.
they'll put it in a magazine again or something, or it'll be like in a newspaper article and be like, remember this iconic picture? Because there was this one photo and it's literally has nothing to do with concerts, which is actually really funny. But it was one of my most inspiring photos that I ever like fell in love with. It was one of the first two. It was the nurse and the sailor photo
I was gonna
from
say
World War
that.
II. Yeah, that D-Day photo, I'm a huge, so my secret is that I'm a huge history nerd. Like huge. And so like historical photos to me are so they're so intriguing. Like historically, like photos and stuff like that, like historic photos, like, like I just love learning about it. And so like that one picture, just like I don't know. It was so candid and so in the moment and so unplanned that I just thought it was so beautiful. Right.
And yet it
So
has so much story too.
it has so much backstory, so much. So
Mhm.
like it's one of those things where it's like it's such an effortlessly beautiful picture for somebody who was just walking in the street one day and just had a camera and just took it. And it's photos like that that I would love for like people to look back on one day in my like with the magazines I have and be like, "Oh my God, I remember this show. Like I was there," or like something like that. And they show their like grandkids and stuff. Like that's the kind of like I feel like that's when I would feel so fulfilled, like is that somebody would remember me by one of my pictures that I took. So a lot of people do tell me that like I know your photos when you take them. And like that is like the biggest compliment because all I wanted in my life ever when I started photography was to develop a style that somebody, whether it be how I cropped it, how I edited it, I just wanted somebody to turn around and be like, oh, like this is like a Nikki photo, right?
Mhm.
Because you can get so lost with so many of your photos sometimes that like people will like mistake it and stuff. And like that's never something I want to achieve. Like I don't want to fall into that blend of like I like want to push the barriers and say have that, you know what I mean?
100%. Well, we definitely are all big fans of your work.
Thank
We just
you. That means a lot to me. I know
no, yeah.
I'm sure a lot of people will be like, "Oh, that means so much." No, like that like deeply impacts me when people tell me I like that they like my work and stuff because it's so personal to me.
Mhm.
So it's like someone telling you like I've never met you before but I love you.
Yes, definitely.
Type of
No, I
energy and
mean,
I'm
I
like,
don't
"Well,
know.
you did meet me. You met me through my art and my art is like everything to me." So,
I can't speak for everybody on the call, but I know for me personally, like you were one of the first accounts I followed when I first started joining like music photography.
Hmm.
Because
really?
I'm like a newborn basically still pretty much. I'm
That's
like
amazing,
2, 3 years
dude.
in now, and
And
Wow.
new blood right here.
yeah, Fernando's pretty
Nando.
new, and then
Mhm.
Rebecca's she's legacy. She's been doing it.
2018, that's still kind of
That's
fresh.
that's you know
No, you
that's a
that's a
while.
legacy. That's a legacy.
Yeah,
That's
no,
legacy right
Rebecca's been
there.
shooting like locals since, they first became local.
Love
Um,
that. Me. They all forgot
but
about me now, but
yeah, yeah, definitely. So I don't know. I really appreciate you taking the time out to, chat with all of
of
us.
course, yeah.
Alana, she does all of our socials too. I don't know if that was already apparent, but she like also I know she knows your work as well. And so we're all just really thankful for you taking the time out
Of
and speaking with us.
course. I'm
And
honored that you asked me. Like, I think that is, I still get shocked when people ask me to do these. Because I'm like, you really want to learn about me? Like, like I'm so boring. But
no.
I do appreciate that. And I'm so thankful that there are still people that follow me from like 2010. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, and it's just, it's so, that is such a good feeling. It is such a warming feeling. So I appreciate that. Like, thank you so much for like being there.
Of
And
course.
like, yeah.
Well, perfect. Well, I'm gonna close up the interview here. But thanks again so
Yeah,
much, Nikki,
thank
for
Of
your
you.
time. We all
Thank
course.
appreciate
you.
you so
Anytime.
much.
Thank you for being patient
Um,
with me with the 5 minutes late thing.
oh,
Oh,
no
you're
Have
worries
fine.
fun.
at all.
You're
Well, 5
fine.
minutes.
But thank you again.
Of
And yeah,
course.
we'll be
Thank
in
you
touch
so much,
soon.
Nikki.
Sounds
Thank
good.
Thank
you.
you.
Bye, y'all.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Nice
Bye.
meeting you.